Welcome to the first episode of FumblePuckPod, everyone. We got lots to cover today. You're going to hear us talk about some knee-jerk reactions about the Habs playing the Jets of the past couple of days, including hashtag MVP. We're going to talk about some trade deadline positioning for Bergevin and the Habs and what that means for the team moving forward. We're going to fumble around the league a little bit. We're going to talk about the NHL Draft date. We're going to talk about the Flames, the Pens, and all that leads us into some great shit talking about Tom Wilson. Hope you enjoy that. And we have a great Dreamboat of the week to talk about, someone near and dear to our hearts that I think you're going to enjoy. And all that's coming up on hashtag FumblePuckPod. Enjoy the show. Welcome back, everyone. You're here on the FumblePuckPod. This is myself, Noah, and I'm here with Ashley. Ashley, how you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Noah?
I'm wonderful. I have a guest sitting at the table with me right now. It is the only plant in my house that I'm allowed to keep. It is a cactus named Oscar.
Oh, I actually killed a cactus somehow, which is pretty hard to do, but I managed to do it. Yet my dog's still alive, so I don't know.
Well, there you go. I guess you've got your priorities set.
Apparently.
We've got some stuff to cover. We had a busy week, lots going on. We were going to kick it off with 2 games against the Winnipeg Jets, one that was frustratingly bad and one that was really awesome. We're going to dive in. I want your these are going to be knee-jerk reactions from you. I want your gut reactions to the following things I'm going to say. Are you ready?
I am. And FYI, I have not seen any of these. So I'm a little bit nervous as to what these are.
Okay. Reaction number 1. When I say this name, what comes to mind? Joel Armia.
Very frustrating. He in his mind, I think he's like an elite player. And then when he gets on the ice, he's kind of like, meh. I wish he would just get it all together. And I really think, like, as Ducharme said, he thinks he has untapped potential. I don't know how untapped it is. I feel like it's trapped inside of him potential, and it's really frustrating. Like that overtime play when he bumped into Petry. Oh my God!
That was spectacular. I actually laughed out loud when that happened, knowing that it was going to cost us the game, and we lost the game 2 seconds later. That was something.
I had the same reaction. I was like, oh, that's when we're going to lose. And then Dubois scored, and I was like, there it goes.
So you said he was very meh. Is meh a scientific term? Does that fit into analytics?
I am not an analytical person in this podcast. You are, so I don't know. No, man, no. It's just frustrating. He's frustrating to watch. It's like you want so much more from him, yet you just don't get it. And then you do sometimes. Like that. Then he had like a 4-point game against someone, Edmonton maybe. No, the night right before he got concussed.
Yeah, he was on fire that game. Remember? And I don't know if the concussion did something to it. If that's like what the reason is, but certainly not the same guy. Not that guy. That's for sure. Everyone on the team says he's got a really wicked wrist shot. They're like, he's got one of the best shots on the team. I don't see that very much. You know.
Well, maybe he should use it. But I do have a question about concussions. If a player comes back like Armia and he had a concussion, is there somebody who follows up with him? Because maybe that is what's still affecting him. Do they have people who I guess a doctor or a psychologist or something who actually follows up and tracks them and sees what's happening? And if they have, I'm guessing he's not having.
The trainers must be watching for that kind of stuff. I think otherwise, what do we pay them for, right?
Well, I agree, but shouldn't there be a specialist who follows players who actually had concussions in their returns? And then I don't know. I'm just curious.
I would assume my theory on extra coaching staff and extra training staff is this: if the position was valuable, the Toronto Maple Leafs would already have one because their coaching staff is the most ridiculously big thing ever. So if they don't have one, which I don't know if they do, but if they don't have one, I don't think you need one. If they have one and we don't, we should definitely get one. Like, there's no point being a big team like the Habs or the Leafs and not spending all the money you can on those extra details that give you little wins. But like the Leafs have all kinds. They probably have like a dinner etiquette coach. Like, guaranteed they do.
Well,
so if they have it, we should have it.
I think we should steal Malhotra and use him as our face-off coach.
I was jealous when they got him.
Me too.
I was actually jealous.
I know. I really wanted that. That would have been a brilliant thing for us to do. Who's really good? Who's retired? We should get him out of like retirement and have him come work with us.
Get Yannick Perreault back.
Sure. Anybody. We need somebody on. Well, last night Kakaniemi didn't, but we need somebody on face-offs. Anyways.
All right. Next one up. Okay. Knee-jerk reaction. Neon knee-jerk reaction. Corey Perry.
Ooh, love him. So as much as I thought he was like a POS and like, could I say that? I'm going to say that.
Yeah, you can swear. That's fine.
Okay, so I thought he was a POS when he was with Anaheim, but I always kind of liked him because I'm like, he's like a dirty POS, but he's kind of like amusing. Like when he like pours water into people's gloves and shit. I love that stuff. I mean, I don't if it's happening to me, but it's just funny to watch. I love Corey Perry. I seriously think I'm so happy he's with us. As Noah knows, when he was on the waiver wire, I was a little bit concerned. I think Corey Perry is wonderful in the sense that he's just like kind of clutch, but like in the most random way. Like he scored, it was him who scored that goal. It wasn't even Drouin a couple days ago. And like the tying goal. And he's just he's so like, his hands are like so elite, but his body is just like not. So it's kind of funny. He's like a hybrid of like an amazing IQ with like, I don't know, like a bum skating. Not a bum skating, that sounds mean, but like he's just not he isn't the fastest guy in the world anymore, or was he ever?
Yeah, he's old now, so of course he's not a great skater, you know.
No, but his hands are elite. His hands are insane. He probably has the best hands on the team. Corey
Perry was the very first person I ever heard. I was young. This is like back when he was a rookie, but it was my first time hearing the term. He could stick handle in a phone booth. So yeah.
Yeah, and he still can. He's amazing with his hands. His hands are amazing, but
he's got 2 power play assists. I think both of them are Gallagher goals. I'm not sure. I think one was Gallagher's goal the other night, but that backwards pass when he's right in front of the net on the power play, I love that. That little tap pass, genius.
Yeah, it's 2 to Gallagher so far. I think Gallagher had them both in. It's great.
Great. We can talk about the power play too because that's fun. We'll get to that after, but oh my god. Okay, next up, Paul Stasny.
I wish we had him. I just want every center that's really elite at this point. And not that he's an elite, but I'd rather Dubois. But he's like, I don't know. I don't know where he comes from. I mean, I know where he comes from, but it's just so weird. Like, he's frustrating to me because he's good and he's centering the top line. Isn't he old now too? Like, he's not a spring chicken.
I'm pretty sure 35, 36, 35, I want to say.
Yeah, he's like not a spring chicken, and he's still center. I'm so old I'm using the word spring chicken. My grandmother would be proud.
He's doing great though, right? Like he fit in great there again. I didn't even think he'd want to go back to Winnipeg because who wants to go back to Winnipeg? But man, he's frustrating to play against.
He is. He's so. The Jets like top 6, 9 are so amazing. I would take any of them in my team. I'm such a fan of the Jets forwards. They're so good. But I know I was surprised he went back. I keep forgetting he's there, and they're like Stasny. I'm like, again? Oh right, darn. Like, why didn't he stay in Vegas? It would have been so much easier for us.
With his best friend Max Pacioretty.
Yeah, another one of my favorites. Yeah.
Okay, next up, the toque that Marc Bergevin was wearing.
Which suit?
Oh no, the toque. Did you see the toque hat he was wearing?
No, he was wearing a toque. Did he get a haircut yet?
I don't know. That's the thing. The toque was there, so we don't know if he was covering up a haircut or if he was so embarrassed by his bad haircut he had to wear a hat to hide it. I don't know.
His lack of haircut, not bad haircut. His lack of haircut. I understand it's COVID. Even I've gotten my hair done. I have autoimmune issues, and I fixed my hair. It's time for him to fix his. It's a little bit like concerning.
Yeah, I think like in the off season, I know he's a busy guy being the GM of the Habs, but it maybe just like a YouTube video of a self haircut one time, you know? How bad could it be, you know?
Anything is better than this mop on his head right now. No offense.
Speaking of having an extra coach for everything, maybe the Habs should have like a hairstylist.
I think they should. Does Toronto have it? I'd be curious.
I wonder. Well, I don't know. Like, no one on that team has like really great flow, I don't think, right? So
they have really bad facial hair, though.
Yeah, and Justin Hall needs a haircut badly. He's got like it's just flowing. It's bad. Like it's bad.
It's like mullets on ice.
All right, next up. This is a good one. This is important. Dom Ducharme. What are you thinking?
Okay, so I'm all for new blood, 100% for new blood. Nothing against Julien or Muller. I don't think this was actually all on them to begin with. I like Ducharme. Don't love his deployment or his time on ice givens. That's the wrong word. How do you say that properly? His time on ice
allotment,
yes.
Distribution.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so I'm losing my words, but you're here to help me. This is going to make me sound like such an idiot. Anyways, so I really do I like Ducharme. I like his offensive style. I like that he wants to win. I like that we don't sit on a lead like we used to. It was so annoying. I mean, given it's been like 5 games. But last night, we totally did not sit on the lead. I mean, we scored 7 goals. I'm totally aging the podcast here. Sorry, I won't do that in the future. But this is our inaugural one. We don't really know what we're doing, so just go with us. Thanks. Bear with us here. But I really, really, really like that Dom Ducharme. I think he's doing well. I think I don't understand the defense pairings either, so I'm iffy on him. I mean, I like it because I like that he's offensive. I like offensive hockey. I don't like the boring stuff that we're so used to, but I'm not a fan of the defense pairings, and I'm not necessarily a fan of the allotment of the usage of the time on ice for certain people. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. That'll come back when we're talking later about our upcoming week because we have some thoughts on how we want to deploy those lines, huh?
Yeah, well, exactly. So it's like a mixed, I'm medium to optimism on him.
Good. And then last but not least, last knee-jerk reaction. I definitely am fishing a little bit on this one. Jeff Petry.
My name is Jeff.
Famous gif of every Jeff Petry goal. My name is Jeff.
Every single time. I always look for it. I'm like, there it is. I read someone said today on Twitter, I don't remember who it was, that without Jeff Petry, we would be a disaster. And I fully agree. I think Jeff Petry is our unsung MVP. Or maybe he is our sung MVP. I don't know. He's definitely our MVP. He is so good. I mean, thank you, Edmonton, for that. I don't know what you were thinking, but I really appreciate it. He is fabulous. He's not been that great this year. He's been great offensively. Defensively, he's a bit of a hot mess, but that could be because of his partner. I don't really know. I would pair him with Kulak, personally, or even Romanov, but whatever. Actually, Kulak. He played really well with Kulak in the bubble. Anyways, but I really think Jeff Petry is a hero. I love Jeff Petry. He's fabulous. He's great. And I think he's our best defenseman. And I love Shea Weber. You know that. However, I think Petry is just unreal. And he's such a gem. And he's like a fine wine. He just gets better with age.
Is Jeff Petry our MVP this year?
Well, that might be Toffoli or Anderson. We'll see on that. But it's one of those 3. Or Jake Allen.
It's not MVP tree yet. It's not quite. So I was hoping that didn't work out. That didn't work.
Hashtag MVP tree. I like that.
There you go. We'll start that next game, MVP tree. That's great.
Yeah,
I love
tomorrow night at 10. Be there, be square. By the time this airs, it's going to be 3 weeks ago's game. But that's okay.
You know what? I'm not a fan of late night games at all normally. But the fact that the game tomorrow is at 10 o'clock is wonderful because I am stuck watching The Bachelor from 8 to 10. So the fact that I'm not going to miss any hockey due to The Bachelor, that's spectacular. I love that.
I love that you watched The Bachelor and just submitted it to our one following, which is probably my mom. Hi, Mom.
Oh yeah, I tried to hate it for the longest time. And then secretly you're like, I kind of think I'm excited for it now. Now I kind of have to. I'm invested. I do make fun of most of the people on the show, but I hate them. But I love that I hate them. It's my trash TV.
My trash TV is Big Brother, and I don't watch The Bachelor. I've never seen it. I've seen a second of it. I think it was Love Island or something. I was at someone's house and they were watching it, and I had it on. But I don't watch that. I watch Big Brother though. Big Brother.
My other trash TV is Buffalo Sabres games.
Oh my God! How much do you want, Darlene or Eichel or how?
They're in last place right now. I think, right? Am I wrong? I think they might be in dead last in the league or second to last. Hold on, let me pull up the exact standings. I got them right in front of me. The actual last place team in the entire league is the Buffalo Sabres.
Yes.
So they are 1 point behind the New Jersey Devils, but the Devils have 3 games in hand. That is spectacularly bad. That is really awful. They're going to be drafting first overall, it looks like.
That's not fair. I really hate this. I'm telling you, they have to fix the draft. It's really not fair. It should be every team gets to pick first overall every 32 once Seattle enters years. That's how it should really be fair. It's not. I don't believe in this. Not that they are trying to tank Maple Leafs, but I don't like this whole tanking for a pick thing. It drives me. I mean, yes, I totally want to do it, but I don't agree with it. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm anti-tank. I don't hate the lottery system right now because it's worked out pretty. Like, I don't think anyone's gotten a big unfair advantage from the draft because everyone who's gotten those top picks sucks. You know, like I think Toronto's the exception, even though they suck in like nature. On the ice, they're good. You know,
Philly. I think it was Philly who jumped like 10 spots or something. It's ridiculous. You can't.
Yeah, but they got Nolan Patrick, right? Like, he barely played. He's not even an impact player for them right now. So, like, did it really? I don't know. I don't think it hurt anyone. We got lucky moving up to get KK. Like, I'll take that all day, every day. You know.
Oh, KK versus Tkachuk. That could be a whole thing.
Oh yeah, I love that discussion, which is hilarious. The whole like we should have drafted Tkachuk over Kotkaniemi. I don't even know what people are talking about because Zadina was the guy everyone was talking about. Like if we weren't taking KK, it was Zadina. I don't know where Tkachuk came in on that. And yeah, Tkachuk's doing well, but he's so ugly. I don't think I want him on our team.
So he's not one of our hotties, Noah?
No, definitely not one of the Fumble Puck hotties. That's for sure. Did you see Ottawa played Calgary the other day?
And the brothers were talking on the ice to each other?
I love their interactions. Like at one point, Matthew went to the penalty box and like Brady was like chirping him. And for sure, he's just like, I'm telling mom, you know, it must be awesome.
I wonder who their parents cheer for. Like that must be hard. I mean, hard, like Crimea River. They have 2 kids in the NHL, but just hard in general. Like it's kind of funny.
Maybe they hate both teams. Maybe Keith Tkachuk is like, screw you guys. I like the Blues, you know?
And he cheers for like Pietrangelo, who's now with Vegas, and he's like, I don't know who to cheer for anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we mentioned Buffalo there about how they're in last place and might be drafting first. That brings us to kind of like our big ticket discussion in relation to the Habs for this week. On TSN, on The Athletic, you'll see everyone's trade deadline trackers are starting to pop up. Their trade bait lists are popping up. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think this does for Montreal? Do you think we're buyers or sellers? Obviously, there's a lot invested in this season as a unique opportunity based on the divisions. But what do you think Marc Bergevin is going to do, and what do you think he should do in regards to the trade deadline?
I'm trying to find the trade deadline list tracker, and I'm not seeing it, which isn't very good. I normally am very good at this, and for some reason...
So a bunch of names are popping up. Like Taylor Hall's name popped up because obviously Buffalo's terrible, right? Right. There were a bunch. So you're looking on the list of teams that are lower down in the standings. Is New Jersey going to sell some pieces? Ottawa has some players that they can flip out. Detroit, not really much, but like, does someone want Franz Nielsen? Like, I don't know. But then you get to players like Anaheim's definitely not going all in this season. They have Ryan Getzlaf. That's a big ticket to swallow with your deadline space. But like, what do you think Montreal should be doing? Are we all in? Should we be going for it? You know what?
So I think Bergevin is not screwing around this year. Not that he was before, but like, I mean, with the firing of Julian, the firing of Muller, the firing of Stefan Waite out of nowhere, like all these things make me think that he really does think we're a contender, and which is kind of strange, but I mean, we're closer than we've been in years. I mean, we definitely need another puck-moving defenseman, I think, especially one to play with Weber, because his Weber-Sherratt pairing needs to go. So I would love Darlene. That's never going to happen. But, I mean, what about, like, Dunn? Like, what's Dunn doing lately?
Do you know who's at the top of the Athletics trade board?
Who?
Former, not full-time partner, but a little bit here and there partner of Shea Weber, Matthias Ekholm.
Oh, yes. I keep hearing about Matthias Ekholm.
So he's good.
He's
a great defenseman.
Cost a fortune, don't you think?
Well, this is it, right? This is why I'm teeing up this conversation. He will cost a good amount because he's got 1 year left after this one. His cap hit's less than $4 million. I want to say it's like 3.75 or something like that. It's a really good price. So you get him for 2 playoff runs at a good price. He's a known commodity. When you look at someone like that, yeah, he should command a good, haul. Yeah, he makes 3.75 for the next 2 years. He's 30 years old. He's right in that prime age. He had a couple of injuries here and there, but when he's on the ice, he's awesome. And they can't keep him, right? Like they have expansion draft considerations to make. I would love to see him on our team.
Me too. I think he'd be a great pickup. I would love to get Roman Yossi. Have I mentioned that enough to you? Another hottie of mine.
Yeah, but he's on the untouchable list. He's definitely on the yes, I would touch him list. But no, he's on the untouchable list.
I know.
Good looking as he is.
Yeah, no, Matthias Ekholm would be really interesting. Another person in the forward thing I would love to get. It's kind of random, but it's Rickard Rakell. I've always been a Rakell fan. I think he's great. He play either wing. He's 1 year left on his contract, and it's under $3.8 million. I mean,
Rakell's always that guy that I always expected him to hit another level. He had that 1 year where he put up like 60 points, like 60-something points, and led the Ducks, right? Like, I really expected that to repeat. And then, like, he got hurt, so I'm sure injuries factor in there. But, like, I always felt like I wanted a little more from him. But, he's worth looking at. I don't think he'd be expensive.
No, another guy I'd love to take a look at, which goes back to my LA fan base, is Tanner Pearson, because him and Toffoli and Jeff Carter formed that 70s line, and they were amazing back in the day. I would love to get Tanner Pearson. And there's no quarantine with Tanner Pearson because he's in Vancouver, right? I don't think we're going to get him, but I would love to get him.
What if Marc Bergevin's master plan is to recreate that 70s line and get Jeff Carter also?
Is Carter still playing?
Carter's still playing in LA, yeah. He's actually not doing bad. Like he's like 36, right? So, or 37. There's a limit to his impact, but I don't think he's terrible. He just can't skate anymore.
Well, neither can Corey.
Dustin Brown. Dustin Brown's tearing it up right now, right?
I have always been the biggest Dustin Brown fan, which is so funny because I hate dirty players, but I am like the biggest Dustin Brown fan. You can attest to that. For years, I've been a Dustin Brown fan. I know he's tearing it up. I'm really happy for him. You ever read his story? His story is really good. Anyways, great. I love Dustin Brown.
Story for another day.
Yes, I would love to have Dustin Brown on our team, but that's never happening.
So you're saying, from what I'm hearing, you're saying we should be going all in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. What do you think? What's your opinion on going all in or not?
Yeah, I think this is the year to do it, right? Where I think we're uniquely positioned in that we have played the teams in this division enough to have our scouting as full as we can on them. If we believe we can win a 7-game series against any team in this division, I think this is the chance to do it. Every year we wait to do it, it'll get harder in regards to Shea Weber and Carey Price, right? I think there's a lot of value in shooting your shot and having fun with it. I loved what the Blue Jackets did the other year, and they didn't get a cup out of it, but I love that they dove in, right? I think that's excitement. I think that's fun. A little bit of chaos. I'm a big Team Chaos fan, so I would move all the chips to the middle and just see what happens,
What about Adam Enrique? A little bit expensive, 3 more years left, but it's a great player.
No, too expensive. Not the guy, I don't think.
Really? No. You wouldn't take him to replace somebody who's possibly leaving us? No?
I would, if I was going to take a center from Anaheim for a run now, I would go for Ryan Getzlaf. Have them retain half. We'd be able to fit that under the cap because we've got like 1.4 mil of deadline space left. Like we can do it. But Adam Henrique just scares me when I hear his name. I on my team, a red flag pops up in my head that I'm just like, he's not the guy.
Really? Okay. I've been a fan since he was with the Devils, but I get it.
If he was still that age when he was with the Devils, I'd be interested.
No, you're right. What about Forsberg?
Oh, wow. I don't think we can afford him, but would I ever take Philip Forsberg on my team? Yeah. The best player ever traded for Martin Erat.
That was such a ridiculous trade, too.
You know what else is ridiculous? Martin Erat's pictures. Like, he never has any shoulders in them. Remember all those, like, memes going around of, like, where are Martin Erat's shoulders? Or winning the award for a player with the least shoulders.
I never knew Martin Erat was blonde when he was younger. That's weird.
Yeah, well, he had flow. He had some hockey flow there for a bit, Okay. So we think they should be going all in. I think we both agree. We want to see some drama at this trade deadline. We want to see some excitement. Do you think Marc Bergevin is going to do that? He's fired a coach. He's fired 2 coaches, 3 coaches now. He's just going through them all, right? Like, what's the point of making all this change if we're not going to take that last step and add some roster beef, right? I don't know. Do you think he will?
You know what? First of all, I think Yuppie should be shitting his pants right now with all these firings.
That was awesome.
I got that off some guy on HF board. So thanks, whoever that was on HF board. Yes, I looked for it.
Yeah, citation needed.
I forget who it was, but I tweeted it out a couple of days ago. So go find it on my Twitter let's not get my Twitter. Anyways, I'm like, remember when he got Vanek and it was like so last minute? We're like, oh my God, he got Vanek. We're like so excited.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, I really want him to do that again, but this time get me like Crosby.
No, Crosby will only play in Montreal when he's 37. Just to give his dad a little bit of props at the end of his career.
Well, I heard him and Bobby Ryan, they're best friends, right? And they both want to finish their careers here, so we can make one this year and one. Well, just get me Crosby. No.
The scary thing about Crosby is his best friend is Jack Johnson.
It's Jack Johnson. Sorry, not Bobby Ryan.
You don't want. Let's not talk about Jack Johnson.
Where is he right now?
He's in New York. So get this: New York got rid of Mark Stahl, and like Mark Stahl is not good anymore. He was good for a while, but like he was aging up there. They got rid of him to Detroit. They gave up a pick, I believe, to have Detroit take Mark Stahl's contract. And then they spent that money on Jack Johnson, who's worse. What are you doing? Just keep Mark Stahl in that case. The Rangers are a disappointing team considering their firepower and their roster.
Sorry, what?
The New York Rangers are disappointing this year considering their firepower on that roster. Like a couple of boneheaded moves, a couple of dirty moments. I don't even want to talk about what's his face. But I was hoping for more from the Rangers as someone who tries to cheer for them a little bit, and no, they got nothing.
Well, maybe they thought they're getting Bobby Ryan and confused him with Jack Johnson, and then, well, look what happens.
There you go. That could be a thing. That's
people will get confused all the time in hockey. That should be a section.
That's awesome. That's worth looking into because I feel like there's something funny involved in that. Okay, so we're going to move around the league a little bit. We're going to talk about a couple of things that popped up and see what's going on with them. First up, the NHL Draft, just to kind of bookend this piece. They're talking about moving the draft. So for those who don't know, the NHL Draft right now, obviously it's hard to scout the kids because most of them aren't playing games, or you can't go to visit them to see the games. You have to watch video. A lot of people are talking about moving the draft back a year and then doing two drafts together. So the three options are keep the draft the same as it is, move it back a little bit, or move it back a full year and have two drafts going back to back, like a couple of days apart, one for this year's prospects, one for next year's prospects. I'm of the opinion I just want to keep the draft the same, kind of let Team Chaos reign. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I actually agree with you on that. I think it might be kind of interesting because maybe you'll get more of a steal than you realize based on the fact that these kids haven't played hockey in a year or they haven't been scouted in a year. So it's kind of like maybe the Habs will get somebody really good at 32nd overall. See what I did there? Yeah. Okay.
32nd overall. I like it. That's exactly it, right? Like, and you look at most of the drafting, and in any given draft, you'll get 30 NHLers out of it. If you end up picking that player in the fifth round because your scouting is boneheaded, who cares? You make the argument that these talented players are going to rise up, whether they're regardless of the situation, if they're good enough, they'll make it. And I think it's a great idea to give some face time and ice time to some people that might have dropped down the draft board a little bit over time. I think this is a case of GMs and media trying to create a story and overthinking. Like from the GM's perspective, they want to get the best information. Well, look at all the dumb draft picks we've seen over the past few years, right? Like, I'm not worried about us drafting another Jared Tenorti kind of person, we've done that. And then from the media perspective, I think this is just something, this is a fire I wouldn't want to pour gasoline on. It's just, you're trying to create a story. You're trying to get some narratives out of it. Let's just stick to the draft the way it is and have a good time,
I agree. What about David Fisher? He was a good pick.
Oh my God. You could look at the Habs drafting from 2006 to 2013, and with the exception of picking Brendan Gallagher and the Pacioretty McDonough Subban smorgasbord of amazingness, we suck. There's nothing else to it. We suck.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but if this happens and the draft doesn't get pushed back, it's nice to know that the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to get 3 Braden points again. So that's cool.
I love Braden Point. All right. Well, the Calgary Flames made some news this week when they fired Ward and they hired Sutter. What are your thoughts on that one? So
Daryl Sutter was your boy from LA, right? And
yep.
Interesting thing. I definitely think there's something wrong with the Calgary Flames. I want to know if we should preemptively, because we're playing Calgary twice this week, should we preemptively punch Matt Tkachuk in the head before he becomes the next Jerome McGinley for Daryl Sutter? I'm worried about that.
Well, hopefully after this year, we won't see them that often, so it shouldn't really affect us that much. But the Kachucks, God, yeah. I think it was an interesting hire. I mean, he came out of retirement for this, so there has to be something there and potential. I mean, he must see something, right?
And he signed for a couple of years, apparently. It's not just like a replacement deal. This is like he's going to – it's two this year plus 2?
Yeah, I heard it was 3 years also, yeah.
That's wild. They must really believe what he's selling, because for someone who's been out of the game for that long, I look at like, you know, it wasn't out of the game for as long, but Lindy Ruff just came out of retirement for New Jersey, and he stinks. Like, it's just not going well, right? Like, there's something about bringing an old dog back into the game, especially when he coached. When the Kings won the Cup, they were a totally different team than the Calgary Flames are supposed to be now. I don't know how well he molds them into that, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see, because he is an old school coach and the league is moving towards new school coaches. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he adjusts and how the team adjusts. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, they lost. He's not here yet. He's coming Tuesday, I believe. Is that correct?
We see. He's supposed to be arriving soon, right? Like he hasn't done a practice yet or anything.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's coming on Tuesday. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Of course, we get to face them. Lucky us.
Yeah. And of course, you know that anytime someone changes anything, whether it's a new coach, a new goalie, whenever they play Montreal, we always hand them the first W. So Thursday should be exciting. Yeah.
Well, except for us. When we change stuff, we lose. But that's okay. That's just who we are.
That's just who we are.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to talk next about the Pittsburgh Penguins, because the Pittsburgh Penguins are a dynasty, and every single year we think they're going to suck. They end up being really amazing in the regular season, except the last 3 years they've sucked in the playoffs too. Is it time to dismantle the Penguins?
I mean, I'm all for taking Crosby on my team. I don't know about you. I'll take Malkin too. No problem.
I'll take Crosby and Malkin all day. I'll take Jake Gensel. I think Jake Gensel's probably one of those like untouchable kind of guys for the team now, you know?
He's so good too.
But like Brian Burke's in there now, right?
Right. That's
yeah. Like, you got Hextall and Burke, and you figure, like, Hextall was that guy all about the prospects and building, so I see where that's going, because he did a good job in Philly. Brian Burke is belligerent and wants to win in a good way, you know? Like, I do you think he's gonna, like, is this gonna be the last ride of the Pittsburgh Penguins this year? It might be.
It really could be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Crosby was honestly, I know it sounds ridiculous because he's Sidney Crosby, but I mean, they're actually winning right now 3-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, they're 13-9-1. They're not horrible.
They're out of the playoffs right now, though, right? They're like in one spot out, I think.
Yeah, they're one spot out. I know, but I mean, they're about to pass us in points, so that says something.
Well, they're amazing.
They're about to be the same as Boston, but with 2 points, 2 games more. I don't know. I feel like it could be the end of the dynasty. I think it could be. I just really hope the new dynasty isn't, you know, certain teams in our division that I don't like. So. Yeah,
I don't think so. Their window's very narrow. So
yeah.
John Tavares will age faster, sooner than you think. That's the hope.
Well,
I mean, not in a, like, I wish all the best to John Tavares, of course. Nice guy, but, you know.
Just I hope your team doesn't win a cup. That's all. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Pittsburgh. It's very, very interesting. So I think
they're worth keeping an eye on. Like, they're one team that I'm definitely going to be intrigued to watch for the rest of this season, because I think the way they play and how they gel will dictate a lot. And if they start dismantling that roster, that's must-watch TV for trade stuff, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So moving on to another team that I think is in their division, but I'm not sure because the divisions are such a mess this year.
Yeah, the Honda, Scotia, whatever, McGregor, you know, division, whatever.
That one, yeah. So the Flying Bird division, whatever. What's your thoughts on that lovely Tom Wilson hit on
oh my God, Tom Wilson.
Brandon Carlo, yeah.
Yeah, I just heard earlier today that he's not going to appeal the 7-game suspension. He's just going to take it. I think that's probably the right idea, because what are you going to argue? You're dirty. You've always been dirty. If I'm being super honest, I'm tired of hearing about Tom Wilson when Brad Marchand goes off, and I'm like, yeah, Brad Marchand, that's the way. You tell him that's the right way. If I'm agreeing with Brad Marchand about something that badly, like, holy cow, Tom Wilson, you got to stop playing hockey, man. You suck.
So I agree. And something that I heard today that really, 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 really pissed me off was that you're only on the repeat offender list for 18 months. Excuse me? If you're I'm sorry. Yes. That was one of their excuses to why this, like, oh my God. I was saying 18 months. What are you talking about? It's like, if you're a repeat offender, he's only fined a certain amount because he's no longer considered a repeat offender.
They didn't play games for half a year. What was that?
Oh, exactly. And I mean, what? You can't expunge the record. What kind of crap is it? I'm really angry about it. What kind of bullshit is this?
That's some bullshit.
And then you're off the beat? What kind of shit is this?
Do we have a quota? Do we have a quota for how many times we can swear?
Well, if it was, I'd probably just use them all up in this last 5 seconds because, I'm really pissed off. Pissed off is not swearing. But, how are you only on probation for 18 months? That doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
The thing that bugs me about Tom Wilson even more is that he never shows any remorse. And I get that players are supposed to be like, yeah, I think it was a good hit. I know Brendan Gallagher does some dirty things and he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't think it was dirty. I get that that's part of their job. But, not reconciling the fact that you're damaging people's careers. There's this sense of, there should at least be this sense of fraternity amongst hockey players that at the end of the day, as much as you hate each other and you fight against each other, you should all want everyone to have a good long career. I don't understand how you can sleep at night knowing that people aren't able to live their dream because of what you're doing. It's awful. And
Brad Marchand cross-checked some guy in the head tonight also. And had no penalty called at him. It doesn't just happen to the Habs. That's weird.
Thank you, because I was worried after his good rant the other day that a small piece of me inside liked him a little bit. I'm happy that he took a headshot tonight, so that he gave someone a headshot, so that I can just go right back to emptying that tank and hating him completely.
He's such a good player, though, when he's not being dirty. But yeah, no, he was dirty tonight.
I'm trying to hate him right now.
I do. I don't like him, but he's a really good. I can admit he's a good player, but when he's being clean. But yeah, no, he totally not I don't know. He the guy went flying on the ground and he was just standing there cross-checking him to the head, but the back of the head, whatever. It was a little bit dirty. I was not a fan, but I have to say this Tom Wilson thing, dude, what are you doing? It's enough. No, you're a good player. What are you trying to hurt someone? What's the point? And that was a really dirty hit. That poor guy. Oh my God. I didn't. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I heard about it. And I was like, oh, it sounds typical, right? I was excited to go and see it to see whether, did that dive into the drama, I guess. And no, it's that bad. It sucked.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, horrible. Bad.
All right. And now we're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor. Have you ever wanted your team to win a hockey game? If you're like me and you don't want your team to win the hockey game, try our new product. It's called Puck Over the Glass Penalties, ruining games since 1929.
Delay of game.
We are back now. So we're talking about the week coming up. There's some stuff happening. We play Vancouver twice. We play Calgary twice. Ashley, looking ahead of this week, what do you want to ask the coach this week about the Canadiens? What's your focus? What's your desire to see? What are you concerned about? What are you hopeful about?
I'm a little bit concerned about the defensive pairings. Yes, they play great against not Vancouver. Hopefully, they play great against Winnipeg in that 7-1 victory. But I'm just curious why I don't know if it's him or Luke Richardson. I don't know if it's Ducharme, Luke Richardson. Maybe it's Bergevin. Maybe they're trying to showcase players. I don't know what they're doing. But I'm just curious to know, why aren't you splitting up any of the defense pairings? I don't get it. And it's kind of frustrating. So I'd like to know that. I'd ask about that if I could. I probably will never have press credentials because I'd probably swear too much. Hopefully
you will never have press credentials. I'm sorry. You'd yell at someone.
I probably would, but I can be really nice when I want to be. I'm very invested in my hockey.
You're passionate about the Canadiens.
Yes, but if I had a job, I could not be. I know how to.
Are you trying to get yourself a job with another team? Is that what you're saying right now?
No, my team. No, okay, never. I would never work for another team unless the money was really good.
So quick on the D pairings there. If you were to pitch him a specific D pairing, what just a 1-2 punch of that you want to see, what would you want to see? So who's with Weber in your mind?
Romanov,
Weber. I like it. And who's with Petry?
Kulak.
And so that leaves Sherratt and
Edmondson.
That's a slow pairing. That
I know.
Sherratt. I think Ben Sherratt's I was not a fan of the signing when we got him, and then he really blew me out of the water year one, and now this year he's kind of just back to being that again, like that. I get nervous when he's on the ice lately.
Me too. And I agree with you. He was fantastic last year. He was great in the bubble. And I think he's great. But this year he's just been, I don't know, there's something wrong going on.
I enjoy in life when I'm wrong. And I was so wrong about Ben Sherratt last year. Eating all that crow was it was humbling to me and I enjoyed it. I was really hoping to let it roll this year. And now I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have eaten so much crow, Yeah,
you can spit some back up. It's all good. But no, I agree. It's kind of like, I don't get it. I don't understand what happened to him. He's kind of regret. Maybe it's his age. He's not that old, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening with him, but he's been like pretty brutal. Weber's been pretty brutal too. Let's be honest. So
yeah, it's always hard talking about Shea Weber's performance in a negative way because of who he is and how he carries himself. And like a lot of people, especially on like Habs Twitter, right? They believe he's untouchable and he's this like sacred character. And I think you can like a player and still be questioning their performance and their abilities, right? Shea Weber hasn't been great this year, so I definitely think that they need to deploy him in a way that makes sense,
I agree. I've been like the biggest Shea Weber fan for, oh my God, since I remember when he scored.
I remember his rookie year. I love Shea Weber.
Yeah, me too. Like, love him. But I can admit when he's not playing well. I have a lot of hard time admitting when other players aren't playing well. Just kidding. No, I can always trash any player at any given time, but if they're not playing well. But no, I just think he's not playing up to his Shea Weberness this year. That's all. But that's just my opinion. But what question would you ask the coach? Do you have any? I
actually have a thing. It's not for the coach. It's for Gary Bettman. Why the hell does the game start at 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't. I would ask him that too, because what is happening? Like, what, 11 p.m.? I don't think there's ever a game starting at 11 p.m., even when the team is from the West Coast. Like, ever. So why are we stuck playing one? No one else has this.
It makes no sense whatsoever. And like, I don't even think that an earlier game would be cutting into anything. They're on different channels, different networks, different feeds and stuff, right? Like there's no need for it to be that late.
And what's happening at the arena? Nothing can be happening at the arena. It's COVID. So
yeah, like, are you worried about not flipping the ice in time? Like,
for what?
Get out of here.
And then we play at 9 p.m. the next night in Calgary. So to fly out to Calgary the next night. Right so after
like
that.
Ottawa, on that Wednesday, Ottawa and Edmonton play in Edmonton at 8 o'clock. Like, okay, yeah, 8 o'clock start time there. That's fine. That's the only Canadian game happening at that point in time. Montreal, Vancouver at 11. Why not put the games an hour? Like, why not do the Montreal, Vancouver game at, the same time or an hour later? Why have them so far apart? Why make us stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning? Bettman, I know it's not you personally, Gary Bettman. You don't make the schedule, but hey, your name's on the front door of that building. You're in charge. You suck.
The scheduler is actually from Montreal. There was an article about him in The Athletic a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sure
he's a wonderful person. I'm sure he got bullied by Gary Bettman into doing this for ratings to not double up. I mean, maybe they want to just like do one of those Wednesday night showcases of Ottawa and Edmonton. I don't know.
Stupid. But like, we don't have to stay up till 3 a.m. watching this. It's not fair. What about people in the Maritime?
Well, that's the problem. We do, because I can't not watch the game. If I'm not at work and the game's on, I have no excuse to my inner child to say, no, you can't watch that game.
I mean, I'm all for late starts. I like the 10 p.m. starts a lot. 8 to 10 p.m. starts are my favorite, but like 11's pushing it. I'm going to be up, but it's kind of like I want to be sleeping by like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm going to be like, nope, I'm still watching hockey.
As an active Habs Twitter person, I'm excited to see what kind of maniacs stay up for the entire game. I'm really curious. I'm excited for that.
Me too. I'm curious who's going to do that too. And the poor beat reporters who have to write about this have to stay up. I hope it's not like, I hope we don't lose. That'd be really sad. Yeah,
imagine like you're like Arpin Basu and you have to stay up till like 5 a.m. writing an article about how they suck.
Oh, I really hope not. Good luck, Arpin. If you ever hear this, good luck. We're cheering for you.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd just feel like he should have a prepared article saying, guys, I'll talk about it tomorrow. You know how I feel. Bye.
Exactly. All right. What's the next topic, Noah?
Pretty straightforward. I wanted to make sure that everyone heard my top 3, bottom 3 for the week. So, every week we do our top 3 players of the week, but then bottom 3 players of the week. It's our little chance to shit talk a little bit, and thank some players. So my top 3 for the week are pretty straightforward. First up, I wanted to put number 1, Brendan Gallagher. That game against Winnipeg yesterday was awesome. 2 goals, high energy. If you're looking for a game to kind of reinstill that confidence in the team and feel a little better. That was it. So Brendan Gallagher, you're my first star of the week. Good job. My second star of the week, Mark Stone. So last game, Mark Stone got a point. And then he was pulled from the game after less than 10 minutes. He played like 9 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that, just as a precaution, because they're like, we're so good and the Sharks suck, so we're set. But even though he didn't play that full game, in the last 4 games, he has 9 points. That's outlandishly good performance. I think Mark Stone every year is like, he's getting better and better and better, which go figure. He's one of those players, like for me, he's in that Brad Marchand category. Like you hate him because he was on the team you hated playing against, but damn, he is a good hockey player.
He's amazing. Yeah. I hated him, but now I don't. So.
And then, so there are only 3 teams in the league that I truly despise. So my third player of the week is a hard one for me to discuss. Obviously, the team I hate the most is Toronto. I'm not talking about them. I really don't like the LA Kings. I really despise them. The third team that I really have a hatred for is the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's really hard for me to say that Andrei Vasilevsky is my third player of the week. He's got 6 wins in a row. 3 of them shutouts. On a team as stacked as Tampa, you don't think the goalie needs to be a crazy above average goaltender to steal some wins. He is playing lights out hockey, and it's hard as a fan of a team with a $10.5 million goalie to see a performance like Vasilevsky's not be a little jealous. So credit where it's due. Andrei Vasilevsky, you're number 3 this week. Good job, buddy.
Do you want me to do my top 3?
I would love to hear your top 3.
Okay, we got to call this segment something else because everyone calls it top 3. So we have to come up with something different for the name of this, but we'll figure that out after.
Shootout lineup or something. We'll brainstorm this. It'll be fun.
Have any suggestions to the one person who's listening, aka my mom? Let me know.
And Stacy will probably listen to this.
So one Stacy, so 2 of us. So we're gonna have 2 people listening.
There you go.
So I didn't know we were doing this segment until about 5 seconds ago. So here goes my list that I just put together in about 4 seconds. So I can't promise it's gonna be very good. Okay, so my top player of the week, and it's a little bit of an homage to my Habs. I'm going to give it to Tyler Toffoli, and how he's just like, I mean, he's 2 goals or 3 goals behind Matthews, who can hit 50 this year. So Toffoli can hit 50 this year too, with less than played so far. Just a little homage there to Sportsnet.
Book it.
Yeah, book it. Exactly. So I just think, I think Tyler Toffoli's been great since, again, when he was a rookie at the Kings, I was like, oh my God, I'd love to have him on my team one day. And now he is. And he's just been great. He's like, I mean, even though his goals aren't the prettiest, he's not the prettiest skater. Some of his goals are really pretty. He's just, he's just like scoring. He's just scoring, and he's like, he doesn't need anybody to play with. He can play on any line because he can just do it himself. It's kind of amazing. I really haven't seen a player like him in a very long time.
It's cool because he doesn't do any one thing amazing, but it just kind of all fits together, and it just works. He gets results. I mean, there's not one part of his game where you're like, that's amazing. But damn, he's fun to watch.
He is. He's great. I'm also going to give this a little bit out of water here, but let's go for Walter Gretzky. So,
hey, that's cool.
Not kind of a player of the game, but kind of a player of the game, in that he's like the great one, and he's the hockey dad, the great one's father, and he's like the god of hockey and the father of hockey, and just a little homage to him, and may he rest in peace, and just thinking about him.
That's awesome.
So he's somebody, and we can't do prospects, I'm assuming, or else Cole Caulfield will have my vote.
I'm okay with that. Go for it. Do it.
Can we? Okay, so let's just toot our own horn here a little bit with this Cole Caulfield pick, who, if he was a Leafs pick, we would hear, oh my God, he would be the best thing since sliced bread. He would be
better than Nick Robertson.
Yeah, exactly. He would be the best thing ever. So Cole Caulfield, he just ended his, hopefully his college career besides the playoffs with 2 goals yesterday. And this kid is he's just on fire. I'm so excited for him. Again, I know it's a prospect and blah, blah, blah. But this kid can just shoot. He just scores like I've never seen scoring. It's amazing. Oh my God, amazing. So I'm really excited for him. And I think he's going to be incredible. And if we go back to the NHL, how about Marc-Andre Fleury? He's just been great.
What a dude.
Yeah, he just is a dude. I love him. He's great. I'm really happy for him.
Leonard's injured too right now, right? He's on the bench?
Yeah. So it's all Marc-Andre Fleury doing everything. And he's so good. He got traded. They were saying maybe he'll go to Seattle too. I think that was kind of tongue in cheek, but it's just, he's great.
Yeah, if I'm like, there was some talk, like some rumors popping up about Fleury maybe getting traded back to Pittsburgh and stuff. I don't buy it at all right now, at least not this year, because if you're Vegas, there's no way you're not all in for a cup, and there's no way you're not going into the cup playoffs without both Fleury and Leonard ready to rock, right? Like, there's no way they're trading that right now. There's no chance.
No, of course not. So I just think it's great. I think he's doing great, and I'm proud of him. All right. So
who are your bottom three?
My bottom three. Okay, so, well, Tom Wilson is clearly one of my bottom three because
he made my list too. So I'm just gonna we'll double whammy that. Like, he sucks.
Brad Marchand, again, with that dirty hit tonight. I didn't like it. Wasn't a fan. And he, of course, got he usually does get penalized, but he got no penalty. And he's a dirty player, and I don't enjoy that at all. And then my last one is, just as a whole, the Buffalo Sabres.
That's awesome. There is a Buffalo Sabre on my bottom three. My bottom three, Tom Wilson. And then next up, Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, actually, his ice time keeps dropping. He's getting he played 19 minutes tonight, so that's good. He's getting a bit tonight. But he's playing less than 17 minutes consistently. He's averaging, if you don't count his outliers where he gets a couple of extra shifts, he's averaging 17 and a half minutes a night. And he's not doing anything with those minutes. And it's just, what an embarrassment. I hate telling athletes to do the dirty thing and take the money, but he should have just taken the money and ran. He must be leaving so much on the table right now. And not just in terms of money, in terms of his reputation. How many teams is he going to go to that just don't go anywhere? Taylor Hall, man, happy everyone dodged that bullet. Happy you're a Buffalo Sabre because they're fun to laugh at. That's awesome. And then my last one is a former player, which is why I was cool with you taking Cole Caulfield. My bottom, not my least favorite player of the week is George Parros because player safety is a joke. And I can't believe that I believe you'd suspend Tom Wilson, but look at everything they've missed for the last few weeks, right? This season, it seems like every year the reffing's getting worse and worse. And you figure if the reffing's taking a step back, player safety needs to take a step up. They're not delivering right now. As a fan, it's frustrating. And I don't think it's healthy for the game letting these hits keep going on.
I agree. These first of all, if
you're a legal big hit, awesome. You're never going to take hitting out of the game. It's played on ice. It's a slippery surface. There's always going to be contact. But predatory hits that are clearly predatory, man, you got to do a better job.
In my opinion, anything, I don't care if the contact is shoulder head or chest head or somehow butt head. I don't care what it is. If you hit somebody in the head, it's a headshot. And the truth is, you get penalized for putting the puck over the glass, okay? Which is most times, unless it's our team, accidental. Okay. And on our team, it just happens way too often to be accidental at this point. But and then if there's too many men on the ice, you get a penalty. If you high stick somebody accidentally and they're bleeding, unless it's our team, you get a 4-minute, a 4-minute penalty. Here, you hit somebody in the head, they ignore it, or it's okay, whatever, it's just a hab, or whoever it is. It's a little bit much. It's enough. At this point, you want to take the dirty hits out of the game. This is it's their livelihood, it's their life. Why are you allowing them to get hit in the head? I don't care where the hit originates. If it hits the head, it's a headshot. They should be suspended, penalized, both. And another thing I think sometimes is when a player is injured on purpose or a player is injured, the player who injured them should sit out as long as the injured player is out.
That's tough. I don't know how I feel about that part because, what if it is an accident? What if you trip and you bump into someone and they accidentally break their knee and they're out for a month? I don't know if the hitter should lose a month, but I definitely think intent matters. The thing that bugs me about player safety right now is that it's not that they're bad at their job. It's that they're very obviously bad at their job. When everybody says they suck, how does the league just keep saying yeah, we think you're doing a great job. We're going to keep going. Is there anyone who thinks he's doing a great job right now that isn't paid to pump his tires? I don't think so.
It's brutal. It is so brutal. Remember when he played for us and in his first game, he got knocked out by the Toronto Maple Leafs in a fight?
I was at that game. And so I went to that game. My boss brought me. We were watching it, and he fought Colton Orr. And my whole perspective on fighting in hockey, I'm not a big fan of fighting in hockey in general, but my perspective after that moment changed it completely. So what I remember seeing happening is, he gets knocked out by Colton Orr. He hits the ice. The first person to freak out and get scared for George Parros is Colton Orr. Colton Orr is we need a trainer. We need help right now, right? You could tell that he was genuinely concerned about George Parros. There was no hate there. So why were you fighting? It's just staged. It's just bullshit, you know? After watching that, I was like, there is no reason to fight in hockey. It's not needed. These guys don't even, like, it's artificially contrived emotion that doesn't really do anything, right? It was pretty frustrating to see, and I remember Paros didn't play for a couple of weeks after that, right? It took him a while to get back onto the ice. What a waste. What a waste.
Yep, and it was his first game, opening night.
It was the season opener. It was cool. It was a fun game to be at, except for that moment, you know?
Yep, I remember that. Also,
I was at the Bell Center. I got into like the loge that night because like my boss's boss had tickets, but it was like the Labatt Lounge. So it was the only place in the Bell Center where you could drink Labatt products. So I was having like Stella while watching the game. It was really cool.
I'm sure George Paris didn't find it that cool.
No, he probably doesn't remember being there anymore. Unfortunately, it sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Horrible. Yeah. Take out headshots. It's dirty.
Yep. Okay, fumble of the week, the biggest mess up of the week, the dumbest moment of the week. I have no choice. There's no debate. It is Mark Scheifele's comments on analytics. I don't know if, for those who didn't hear, Mark Scheifele is interviewed about analytics because there's been some talk about how him and Blake Wheeler haven't been as great as they normally are. Blake Wheeler's analytics don't look great, even though they're putting up points, right? And Mark Scheifele was like, I don't understand them. I think they're a joke, essentially was his answer. Well, if you don't understand them, how can you think they're wrong or a joke? It makes no sense. You can say, I thoroughly studied analytics and I don't believe they apply to my sport. I'd have time for that. I still think you'd be wrong, but I'd have time for that. But you can't say, I don't even know what they mean. That's it. Like, I don't believe in them. And it's dumb in of itself because analytics, everything about hockey is analytics. How many minutes were you on the ice? That's an analytic. That's a counting stat. How many goals did you score? That's an analytic. There's so many different parts to the analytics that people don't get. And the people who criticize analytics are like, you can't read a spreadsheet to understand hockey. No one's doing that. It's absolutely asinine. No one's saying, oh, this spreadsheet will dictate how to win a hockey game. Analytics will get you like 1 or 2% better. And if you're an NHL franchise, your goal is to exploit every single 1 or 2% advantage you can. It's like we're talking about the skills coaches before and the 10,000 coaches the Leafs have, right? And how the Habs should have 10,000 coaches. If each coach gives you a 0.1% chance of winning a game, you do it.
Right.
Why wouldn't you? For Mark Scheifele to say, I don't buy them, they're hogwash, and then to have the balls to say he doesn't even know what they mean. Come on, man. Fumble, huge fumble. Fumble of the week, Mark Scheifele. I really like you. Just do better, please.
I would take him on my team in a heartbeat. So yeah,
I would take him on in a heartbeat too. Apparently, he's the well. So like, we got rid of Petry, who was the perceived king of empty net goals. I believe Mark Scheifele is the actual king of empty net goals right now.
Well, I wanted him solely because I like the spelling of his name back in the draft day. I was like, how do you pronounce that? Scheifele? And then I was like, oh, it's Scheifele. And I really wanted him on my team solely for the name. I tend to do that with players. It's kind of weird.
Is that what you like Toffoli because it rolls off the tongue?
No, I really like Toffoli because of the way he plays. But with Scheifele, I'd never seen him in junior. I just liked his name, so I wanted him on my team. And then Winnipeg
sounds like someone who's got hustle in their step. Like I was Scheifling down the ice, you know?
Well, that's probably why I liked it. Because exactly, it has like spunk. Which is a Mary Tyler Moore quote for all you dirty people out there. Oh my God. Oh my God, did you hear about that? I tweeted something about like, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so I tweeted the other day a quote from the Mary Tyler Moore show. I was showing my age here. I never actually watched it.
Are you about to tell a story about how the internet and Twitter went too far on something?
No, yes. So I tweeted out like the Habs have spunk. Thankfully, I like spunk again. Mary Tyler Moore. And this guy who
High School Noah is laughing right now. By the way, I guess I'm still High School Noah.
Well, so someone wrote to me saying, be careful with what you say. And I was like, what's wrong with I like spunk? And then I Googled it. And I was like, oh, and I deleted that quite quickly.
First link, Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, that's where I went. Exactly. And I was like, oh my God, really? They take everything and make everything bad. It's like everything's sexualized. It's very annoying. Anyways, whatever.
Welcome to 2021 on the internet. It's
well, awesome. Okay, but I was really quoting the Mary Tyler Moore show, and I still am.
All right. Well, you have an opportunity now to voice your opinion on anything. You can rant about anything right now. Do you have a rant this week you wanted to go on?
I have lots of rants in my head, but do you have a rant?
I got my good rant on my Mark Scheifele. I felt really great about that. So do we just jump over this?
Well, Well, we can rant if you want, but so let's rant about Mr. Philip Deneau's usage because it's driving me bananas.
Oh, are we going to do the Philip Deneau right now?
We don't have to. We can do this.
We can do it right now. It's fine.
Okay, so really, he's a third line center, and he's playing fourth line center.
Well, last night he was a first line center, I think.
No, he was not. That was Kotkaniemi. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not going to win this one. I know that.
No. But you've been at least you finally stopped tweeting me and texting me about number 1 seed Phil Deneau. So thank you.
I'm really good when it comes to internet work. I'm really good at being on the bandwagon for something and then subtly jumping off as soon as things start to derail and then jumping right back on at the right time when it comes to the Habs anyways. So I'm very strategic with my Phil Deneau fan club. Last night, membership opened up again for those who want to join it. It's the 1C Phil Deneau fan club, open until at least tomorrow night at 10 p.m.
When it'll be shut immediately after.
Hopefully not, but you never know.
No, I wish him the best. I just wish he would stop taking all of our other people's minutes. That's all. And I would really like to see Gallagher playing on the Suzuki line. They need a net front presence, and I think Drouin, Suzuki, Gallagher would be really fun to watch.
I had it in my notes here about the upcoming week. Actually, I forgot to mention because I specifically pointed out that Armia is on that line right now with the Suzuki and Drouin. I don't like Armia on that line. I was thinking that should switch, right?
I would put him with Deneau and Tatar, and I would take Gallagher off and put him with Suzuki and Drouin, personally.
What about Corey Perry with Suzuki and Drouin?
He's slow.
Yes, it would be a slow element to that line for sure.
But he would be great because he'd be able no one there's really a scorer because Suzuki's not really scoring. Drew, as we know, is a passer. And Corey Perry's a scorer, but by the time he gets there, the puck's going to be the other end. So
I like your thoughts on that. I agree with you.
I don't know. I would put Gallagher there. I really would. He'd crash the net and he'd get the puck in. I mean, have you seen Drouin's passes lately? They're incredible.
Yeah, I'm always like, I don't want to get too high on him because he's really good at letting me down. But wow, he's something to watch lately, huh?
All of us. He lets all of us down, but he's been great. I give him props when it's due. Drouin has not been an issue for me this season. I mean, at the beginning, he wasn't great, but he's been great. He's been really like a whole new player. I don't know if it's the Ducharme effect or not, but he's been great.
I wonder, huh? I don't know because I'm not an NHL coach and I don't know the relationship very well, so I can only assume. But that would be cool. Yeah,
he's been really good. I'm really impressed with him this season. I really am. He's been great, and he's doing really, really well. And I'm really enjoying it. I think he's doing great.
And then back to wrap it up, Phil Deneau should have taken that contract extension. I had plans at the start of the season. I said if Deneau signs like a 5 or 6 year deal, I'm going to get a Deneau jersey. And then I'm so happy I didn't right now. Oh my God. I still love the guy. Huge fan club, but I'm not buying a jersey yet, buddy. Not buying a jersey.
If he had come, we wouldn't have Toffoli. So yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I'm way happier with the Toffoli signing. So it makes me really happy. I remember when he texted me saying we got Toffoli and that my dream came true, and I was super happy about it. So
yeah.
No, I'm a huge Toffoli fan. Love it. Love his playing. He's great. Brings an element we don't have, which is slow, lumbering skater, shooter, scorer. Love it.
Okay, speaking of things you love, this is your opportunity. You get to pick your NHL Dreamboat of the Week. Who is the NHL Dreamboat of the Week?
Oh, so there's quite a few. But this week, do we want current player or not?
I want you to go with your gut. This person is beautiful, and I need to take a moment to tell the world how beautiful they are.
I'm going to go with Kirk Muller. Kirk Muller's been my boy. Kirk Muller has been my boy since I was 10. I am the biggest. Oh, I love Kirk Muller. He's just so cute, so adorable. He was so good. He won us the cup. How can you not love Kirk Muller? It's great.
I love Kirk Muller. So like I said, I'm very hesitant to buy jerseys with names on them. The only jersey I have with a Habs player's name on it. It's a Canadian Centennial jersey. It's number 11, and it's got the sea crest on it. And everyone sees that from the front. They're like, oh, nice Saku jersey. And I turn around, and it's Kirk Muller. And everyone's like, oh, my God. I love Kirk Muller. He is a beautiful person. I like that you chose that.
Well, my first ever Habs jersey is a Kirk Muller, which he actually signed when I was like 12 jersey. And it says, to Ashley, best wishes, love Kirk.
That's awesome. Is it a red jersey or a white jersey?
It's a red CCM, I think, jersey from like literally 1993. It's
nice.
Really cool.
I'm always hesitant to buy white jerseys because I feel like I'll spill beer on them.
I have a Camilleri white jersey. That one aged well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were the biggest Camilleri fan in the world.
I was. Oh, that trade killed me.
That was rough. I remember that. You freaked out.
I have to tell you, though, so the good news going back to Kirk, is the first time when he was traded, I bawled for like 3 days. The second time he left our organization as a coach, I cried for like 2 days. And this time I didn't cry. So it's improvement, right? You're
numb to Kirk Muller's abandonment.
I am. It took like 20 something years, but I am, he will always be my favorite Hab. I am the biggest Kirk Muller fan of all time. Love him. You got to meet him at a bar. Didn't you meet him at Cheers or something?
So there was a bar in the West Island of Montreal, and my buddy was working there, and he sends me a text message. Oh my God, Kirk Muller's here. And like I was within walking distance from the bar, so I ran, and anyone who knows me knows I don't run. I ran there. I got there, and Kirk Muller was there, and he was having a good time, like hanging out with a bunch of people. Low key, but like there were at least 3 or 4 friends. And my buddy goes up to him, my buddy's the bartender, and he's like, Mr. Muller, I'm such a huge fan of yours. Can I please just see your Stanley Cup ring? And you know what Kirk Muller does? He takes off the ring, gives it to my buddy, and says, it's yours for the night. We got to hang out the entire night passing around Kirk Muller's ring. And he was such a dude about it. He's like, you guys having fun? Cool. Awesome. Already a person I loved from my childhood, grew up, had his jersey, like loved him. And then for him to do that, man, Kirk Muller is my favorite. I'm going to miss that guy.
Me too. And he's so cute. Like he's also like a fine wine. He just gets better with age.
He is. He is cool stuff.
He's awesome. I am a huge Kirk Muller fan.
All right. Well, I think we're kind of wrapping up here. It's getting towards the end of the show. Moment in hospitality this week. There's not much to say in our moment in hospitality, other than the fact that it's officially this week is the 1-year anniversary of COVID lockdown. Lots of emotions packed into that. It's been weird. We've gone a whole year like this. I have a kid who was born in the middle of COVID and hasn't lived in a non-COVID world. So not a fun anniversary to celebrate, but hey, vaccine shipment increases coming up and warmer weather coming out. So hopefully that helps us get back to as much normal as we can,
No, for sure. And I mean, keep your masks on even after the vaccine and everything, because it's not a cure. It's just a way to hopefully curb the spread a little bit. And,
so being in hospitality, I'm very excited for the people to walk in the front door saying, I don't have to wear a mask because I'm vaccinated. No. Come on. It's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. I'm really pumped for that moment to hate myself inside a little bit.
Yeah, no, keep the mask on. And double mask. Double masking is important now. It's the new thing. It's a double mask. And stay healthy, wash your hands, and all that stuff that we've been preaching for a year. I mean, hopefully the end is near. I don't know how near it is. I'm thinking 2022 maybe. Hopefully we can get out of it more. I'm curious to know if there would be like a parade for, I mean, obviously Tampa didn't care and had a parade, but I'm curious, I guess the US really doesn't care and they had people in the stands. So, but I wonder how a parade would work this year if God willing, Montreal won the cup.
I'm knocking on wood right now because I don't like the way you challenge the hockey gods. If there was a hypothetical scenario in which maybe that would happen, I don't know what would happen, but I would want a parade that I could watch at least. I don't know. I have so many mixed emotions on that, and I'm really offended that you would tease the hockey gods with that bit.
I'm not going to tease. I'm sorry, hockey gods. Please don't spite us.
They are vengeful gods.
Okay, I don't mean it that way. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm looking up at my ceiling like they can help me and hear me. No, I'm just curious, because I think that the team should just drive around the city on a float, and we all stay inside and wave. I think that would work best. But that's
I would like that. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd be down for that too. All right. Well, this is all for us here at #FumblePuckPod.
Awesome. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you later this week.
Make sure you check us out on Twitter and Instagram at FumblePuckPod. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/FumblePuckPod. Retweet us. We'd love to get the word out that we started this podcast. Our graphics will be coming hopefully in the next couple weeks. Check out our website, FumblePuckPod.com. We hope to see you there. Thanks. #FumblePuckPod. Thanks for tuning in.